Hi everyone, it's Carrie here from Painted Fingertips, and this is my very first video. Today I will be showing you how I do my drip marbles. Lately I've been getting a lot of questions about them, and what I'm showing here, the green was one of my favorites. I've also done this one recently, which was based on the stunning images of Jupiter that we've been getting back from Juno. This dark drip marble was one of my most popular on my blog, so since I've been getting quite a few questions, I thought today I'll show you exactly how I create them, and specifically I will be showing you this purple drip marble in today's video. Remember, if you want more details on any of the other drip marbles, they're all up on my blog at paintedfingertips.com. So first of all, these are the polishes that I've used: Sinful Colors Lavender, Séché, the polish Intrepid. I've used two from Supermoon, which is one of my favorite brands, The Hunger and Triangulum, which was a Black Friday polish of theirs from last year. I used Zoya Trixie, and I used China Glaze Tarty for the Party. So what I use is just a plastic lid. The one that I use is from some deli meat, and I just keep on using the same one over and over again. I just clean it off in between, and you can use anything like a sour cream lid, any type of sort of semi-flexible plastic. So I take the first color and I put a few drips onto the plastic with small spaces in between them, and I just try to make sure that it's like decent sized drips and that they are slightly spaced. I will then take my next color and I like to fill in all of the spaces, so I will drip it in between, and it really doesn't matter if some of that polish goes on top of the previous ones. In fact, when I come to the later colors, I will just keep on layering them all on top of one another. I found that drip marbles are a lot easier when you use more colors rather than fewer colors. So I've tried doing a couple of drip marbles with only two colors. Sometimes they do come out looking really cool as well, but sometimes I have a harder time getting really nice drip marble patterns. So that's why I use a lot of different colors here, and I also find that it's really effective to use these different finishes. So I have some creams, I have some that have a bit of a holographic finish or a bit of a shimmer. And I also really like using, in this case I'm having all of these purples, and then I have the one silver polish just to offset those purples a bit. So as you see, I just keep on dripping them on top of one another, and I usually go for a second round with each of the colors as well, just to make sure that they're well distributed within the area and that they're kind of all mixed up between one another. Then what I do is, this is the drip part of the drip marble. Just lift up that plastic lid that you're using and rotate it in different directions so that the polish literally drips down the plastic and mixes through one another. I like to rotate it in different directions so that the polish moves back and forth, and you need to carefully look at the patterns that are forming and kind of try to guide it in ways that you think are making the pattern come out well. I like to make the polish spread out as much as it can so that I don't end up with anything that's too thick or lumpy that will take a long time to dry or that won't look so good on the nail. So here you can see I'm just about finishing up getting that to drip everywhere that I want it. Keep on doing that. It can take several minutes. I'm actually showing its bed up here. As the polish becomes thinner, it flows more slowly, so you need to just be a bit patient. And you can see here that there's some nice patterns forming within it. I like to make the decals nice and big so that I can just choose my favorite parts of them. And usually I make two of these decals, and as you can see here, I've done the second one in exactly the same way, and I will then just choose my favorite sections in order to do with the full manicure. The next thing that you need to do is leave this to dry, and you really do need to leave it long enough. Usually I leave it for a whole day, so I'll make the decals one evening and then I'll apply them to my nails the following evening. If you don't wait, they won't peel up nicely and they'll break. On the other hand, don't go waiting 3 days or something, because they will become too brittle and you'll have a hard time getting them onto your nails. So here I've let them dry, and you can see that the texture looks like it's changed a little bit. They're fully dry, and I like to use a tweezer to just help me get the edge of that decal up and to pull it up off the plastic. So just be careful so that you avoid tearing it, and you can pull the entire thing up off the plastic. once again, I will do that with both of them, and then I will start cutting them out. So I'll carefully look at it and pick my favorite sections, and I will just cut those out with a small nail scissors. And there you see all of the pieces that I've picked out, and I don't try to cut them to the shape of my nail because I always do a terrible job of that and end up with big spaces. So I'll just cut out approximately sort of rectangles that can be larger than any nail. First of all, for my actual manicure, I start off with a base coat. Right now I'm using Morgan Taylor's Stick With It base coat, which was a press sample. I then like to use foil glue to apply the actual decals. This is not needed. If you don't have foil glue, you can just use a coat of tacky polish. I like using foil glue better because it not only helps the decal to stick better, but because you aren't using polish, you don't kind of re-soften that decal, and so you avoid having any strange lumps and bumps and smears. So I just carefully apply that to all of my nails, and you do need to let that dry properly. So foil glue, it's properly sticky once it's dry, so you'll just leave it for a few minutes until it's fully dry. Once again, if you don't let it dry, what will happen is that the little decals will slide around on your nails and it will be very annoying. So just wait a few minutes, and then what you want to do is pick out which piece you want to apply to the nail. So I'm going to be starting with that one. Decide which nail you want to put it on. So I decided I want that piece on my middle nail. So I use tweezers to help me, and I just kind of line it up with which part of the pattern I want on my nail and carefully place it on top. Then I just smooth it down, make sure that it's nicely stuck over the entire surface of the nail, and I try to avoid getting any wrinkles in it. And as you can see, it's obviously far too big for my nail, but that's fine. So at this point I will take a nail scissors and I will cut it away as close as I can around my nail, without damaging it, and obviously being careful not to hurt myself or anything like that. There will still be a little bit of excess that's left around the nail, and that's fine because it's easy enough to clean up. If you feel more confident in cutting the decal to the exact size of your nail, that will also work. It's just not something that I've ever been able to do very well. And once again, I will just continue and apply the remaining ones to all the rest of my nails. Okay, the next step is top coat. I am using Sesha Vitae top coat. Adding the top coat on top of the decals of course helps to seal it in. It helps with any excess that's at the tip of the nail. I find it really makes it easier for me to kind of fold that in and get the tip of my nail looking right. And it also helps bring back that shine, because when you make decals like this, sometimes the surface of it gets kind of a strange texture to it and it's not as shiny as the polishes would be on their own. So that top coat can really just help bring out the colors and patterns once again. So as you can see, I kind of put it especially on the tip of the nail as well, and that's just to help with, and I tap down any excess that's at the tip of my nail just to help getting that looking nice and smooth. Once I've top coated all of my nails, you need to clean up that excess. So I like to use a little bit of remover. Cotton buds work really well for the excess that has been at the tip of your nail. So once it's folded down, you can just kind of clean under your nail using a cotton bud. And then for cleaning around my nail, I use just a regular old paintbrush that I dip in the remover, and because these decals are just made from nail polish, it's really easy to clean them up, although cleanup does tend to be the part that takes the longest because of all of that excess polish around the edges of your nails. And there we go, that's the final look. So after I'm done cleaning up, I'll just moisturize a little bit, and this is how the final look came out. So if you'd like to see some more pictures of this, don't forget to visit my blog post, and I'd love it if you gave me a follow over there as well. This was my first video, so thank you so much for watching, and please let me know if there are any more specific videos that you would like to see in the future. I would love to do some more tutorials for you all, and don't forget to give me a follow.